Hi and welcome to my channel. My name's Teresa, I'm the car boot crafter, and I'm coming on because I'm making another one of these. A few years ago, certainly pre-pandemic, I used to go to a craft club, and one of my friends there, still in touch with, showed me how to make these. So I thought I'll have a go, and this was the result. And I use this as a way of kind of storing projects, if that, yeah, projects. So I've got little tabs on here that I put on it, and what I do is, so from here to the next tab, so there, these are my dies that I'm currently using in projects. Then from this tab to this one, so these are some of the bits and bobs that I need for a football themed card I'm making. Next one along, so I've got some of the dresses that I folded in last year's embellishment makes that I did. What else? So there's other bits and pieces in here. This is a sympathy card I've got to make, that's there. And then I've got other things on here, other embellishments that I've done, and that I'm kind of thinking I might use those in a project. So they're on there, just, you know, so they're on hand whenever I need them. So and what I wanted to do is, because this is great and it works really well and nothing gets crushed and it keeps safe, so what I wanted to do was to make another one of these. Let's move that out the way. I want to make another one of these because I want to use it as literally as a Roladex. So at the moment I use this, so all my addresses are in here, and you can see from the paper clips and bits sticking out, that's if people write me a letter or a note, I will keep those as well. All the cards are in the windowsill, but some of the notes and things are in here. But it is getting really thick. I've got a couple in on the front here, but everything else is written on with an address or something. So what I wanted to do was make another one of those book folded Roladex, so that I can then pop these in. Let me just show you, actually, if I bring that back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop it in like that, and then I'm going to have the name on the top there, so I can literally go through and see, you know, whose address, take it out, write on it, pop it back in. And then these, my tabs, I'm going to put such like A, B and C, so all the names with A, B and C will be there. You know how these things work. I don't need to explain, do I? So yeah, so that's what I'm doing. So I thought, do you know what, I'm going to put the camera on and show you how I do it. Like I said, my friend showed me how she does it, and I've changed it up a little bit. So anyway, so all you need is a book, any old book, Riding in the Storm one, that'll do. And if it's got a sleeve on, take that off because we don't need that. We can get rid of that, so that can go in the bin. And all we need to do is open our book, and it doesn't matter which way. It's a shame because this has hardly been used. But open it up, and you should have, if it's a hardback book, you should have this kind of like a gap in there. So if I get my knife and put it in there, I can push it down inside there like that. So it's not, the pages aren't attached to the back of the spine. So what you do is you get your knife, open the leaf. You can do this with paperbacks if you want to, but get yourself a piece of card for the next stage. And you don't need to necessarily cut the cover off. Depends on whether you like it or not. But if like me, using hardback books, and why wouldn't you? They're £3 for £1 at the local charity shop at the moment. So all you're going to do is run your knife down right in that corner between the page, the back of the book, and the cover. And what we're trying to do is to pull these apart. Oh gosh, that's a bit more temperamental than I thought it was going to be. Let's push, see if we can. Sometimes you have to be a little bit brutal with them. Oh, there we go, that's come off. So that's taken the back off, the spine and the back page. So flip that over and do the same on the other side. I want to take that off completely, like that. And sometimes if they are really well made, like this one is, it can be a little bit of a challenge to sort of separate the back and the cover. So what you do is you pull that off like that. Come on, there we go. Right, so, and if a few pages fall out, don't worry about it. You can, like I do, I will keep that and use that in a project somewhere. But keep your cover, because we'll use that in a minute. Let's pop that to one side. And if you want, you can clean it up. It's not necessarily, but actually I'm just going to pull that off just to get rid of that. You don't have to go too mad, and sometimes if you do, it can destabilize the book, but I just tidy up the back of it a little bit. When I say tidy, it's not extremely tidy, but it'll do. Then let your book fall open in the middle like that, and then it's the really simplest of book folds. It really is. All you're going to do is get your page, bring it into the middle and fold. All you're going to do, bring it into the middle and fold. You can get your bone folder out if you want and reinforce it if you want. I don't very often, do sometimes but not very often. And just keep folding. Now if you start in the middle, when you're in the middle, fold into the middle like that, and then just fold it across and keep going. I am not going to do all 300 plus pages in this book, so don't panic. So just keep folding like that. If you get really, I mean, sometimes I cheat and I will get a couple or 3 pages like that. So there's 3 pages, and I will bring it across like that, and I will fold it down, and then I'll do them one at a time like that, just to be a bit quicker sometimes. What you want to do is you are aiming to get these as straight as you can. So when you are folding, make sure that you line up your edges. Okay, what you don't want is it to go wonky that way or wonky that way, otherwise you end up with a page that goes all over the place. So right into the middle and then fold it. And what happens is, once you start to build up a pile of pages here, you end up with this side sort of holding this down, because you're kind of tucking it under. So keep going. But what you're going to do is every few times, sort of handful of times, or whenever you feel you really need to, you're going to stop and you're just going to check that they are all the same size, that you haven't got any. Let me just show you. If I get this one and fold it so that it's like that, and then fold this one properly. And the glossy ones I'm going to fold exactly the same as well. I'm not going to be faffing or worrying too much. I'm going to fold those in half as well, and actually that might make things look a bit, a bit more different. So just fold things like that. So what you're going to do, every so many, I don't know, 20, you're going to check that they're all about the same size. As you can see, that one I deliberately folded a bit strange is sticking up, and the reason you're checking is for things like that. So all you do is go back in and refold it. So open it out, fold it back in. Sometimes if you have used your bone folder, that can be a little bit tricky. So fold it in, hold it, and then come back in and fold that so that it is, when you check again, it's the same size as all your others. When you've finished, when you get to the end, don't do all of it. You're going to leave a handful of pages, but keep folding till you've got most of them done. If it's getting too thick, and sometimes it depends on the size of the book and the pages, if you're getting too thick, then you don't have to go all the way. You can take some of these pages off. So you could just rip them off like that and keep on folding, but don't go all the way. You don't want to fold these last pages, and if they're like this one stitched in, you may find that some of them are loose, so do check. So that one's loose as well. Do check. So that one's okay. Yeah, that one's okay. I'm going to take that one out anyway, but keep going until you find that there's no resistance with your book. And you'll need to leave 3, 4 or 5 pages at the end. Just leave them unfolded. Once you've done all this way, then you're going to go this way, and it's entirely up to you whether you carry on folding that way, or I find it easier to bring these into the middle as well. So I'm just folding it in like that. Check that's the same size, which it is, and then keep going. And because things are getting a bit thicker here, what happens is it makes it so much easier for me to bring this across and slide it under that page, and it just holds it, makes it just so much easier to fold. But keep on checking that you're not going wonky on there, otherwise you'll have to come back in and double check on your sides. Once you've checked and you're happy they're all the same, bring your bone folder in and give a quick push down like that, and do that all the way through till you get to this. And again, save yourself 3, 4, 5 pages at the back and leave them loose. Right, I said I wasn't going to fold the entire book because I've already done one. Okay, and the pages that you tear out or come loose, keep them for other projects. Great. Right, okay, just drop that down there. So I've already done this one. Okay, so this is the cover for this one. So I've got the cover. This one came off a lot easier, so all there. Let me pop that to one side. So what I've done is I've folded all of these pages and I've left a handful at either end like that. So, and sometimes what's happened is and it's happening with this one, because it's getting quite thick, the book starts to sort of come up, so you get that natural curve there, and your book starts to spring up a bit like that. But that's okay, don't worry. But if it does start doing that and you've still got loads of pages left, that's when you need to think about tearing some of them away. Okay, so again, I've got a few pages left. I've got some here, look, I got a little bit too enthusiastic with the blade. So all I'm going to do is take them off. So let's just take those all off like that. So again, I'll pop them to one side and use them for another project. And then I've still got some pages left, so I'm going to bring my glue and I'm going to glue them together. So go through them and just glue them all together. And unfortunately, because I've just taken those ones off, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the next one. Because I've taken those ones off, I've only got these 2 pages. So what I'm going to do is open up that one. So I've got 3 pages. So I'm going to glue this one down as well, like that. And you know, it's a simple project. It's not, you know, you don't have to worry too much about gluing every corner down or anything like that. So there we go. So that's all glued down. Get my bone folder in there just to make sure I've got plenty of contact. I've already done this side, and what it does is it thickens up, so you've got a more solid, substantial page, if you like, because it's about 3 or 4 pages thick on both sides. So there we go. So I've done all my folding and I've glued both sides so that I've got 3 pages thick on both sides. So I'm going to pop this to one side now, because that is still very bouncy and it's still not very stable. So now we have to work on doing a back or something to go on there to hold it steady. If I bring this one in, I'll show you what I've done. So on the back I've got the 2 leaves of the book, and then that's the spine of the book, so it still looks like a book from the bottom, and that's what I'm going to do next. If you haven't got the spine, or you're using a paperback, or you really don't like the cover of the book, then just get yourself a thick piece of card and cover it and use that, or you know, measure your pages and see how far out you want to come, because I've come out, my book pages come out about 3 inches. You might not want to come out that, you might want to only come out 1/2 inch or something, but measure your book if you're going to use some chipboard or hardboard or something, or even thick card. So this is, so these are the cover. So, and that's nice thick heavy card. So what you're going to do is, again, grab your blade and cut off, because mine is still attached on this one. On this one it's attached to that one. So all you're going to do is run your blade down there like that. And I'm not bothered, I've gone wonky, I've gone all over the place. I'm not bothered, I'm not at all bothered by that. But if you want to make it absolutely perfect, go ahead. So now I've got the spine, I'm going to pop that to one place. I'm going to turn this over. Now I really like the inside of this book, and the same with the one that I've got finished. I really like, it's like a picture of an old butcher's shop, and I really like that, so I've kept it. And I'm going to do the same with this, but if you don't like the inside, then get some pattern paper or something and cover the inside. And once you're ready, grab yourself a piece of card. Where did I put that? So I've got a nice big piece of card, and I'm going to glue that in place there to hold the 2 pieces together. So just get some glue, and what you want to do is you want to make as much contact as possible. So do make sure you put plenty of glue on and then spread it around, because this is the bit that stabilizes the whole project. Now, make sure you get those edges as well, so you don't get any lift, because you're going to be gluing your pages, the pages that you just folded. So these ones, these are going to get glued on top of this, so you really want to make sure that this is well stuck down. Okay, so flip that over, line your book up so that it's straight, and use your grids on your self-healing mat if you need to. And then, oh, that's gone wonky, hold on, let's lay that down again, and then lay that on top. You don't, I mean, if you are using pattern paper, then by all means measure inside the book and go all the way across if you want to. If your paper is, if it's paper or it's not very thick, then you might want to put something in the middle here anyway, and then cover your the inside of your book cover. Okay, so once that's all set down, normally I would leave it to dry, but I'm not going to, just because we haven't got time. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue my spine back in place. But before I do that, I'm just going to tidy it up ever such a little bit, just to get rid of some of that. I know I wasn't bothered, but now I look at it, I just want to tidy it up a little bit. But to be honest, this side probably won't get seen that much, and it's in my craft room, so it's only me that will see it anyway. So that is going to now get glued on there, and between the card and this, that should stabilize the whole of the base. But obviously if you're using card or hardboard or chipboard, whatever, then just measure and do one sheet, so you won't have to, or you won't need to do all of this just to stabilize the back. So plenty of glue on here to hold it in place. I'm just going to run down the edges as well, just to make sure. Back up that side. So I want that to be really secure on the back of these covers. Lay that down, and again push that into the this has got a bit of a glossy cover, so I'm really wanting to glue that down. And if I need to, I can come back in with some hot glue. You could even use double-sided tape on this, and actually I'm thinking maybe that's what I should have done on this one, because it's got a glossy cover on, so that's not holding quite as good, although it's holding in places. Right, so what I'll do is I'll flip it over. Whoops, that's come off, hasn't it? That's upside down. That way around, I think it is. Yeah, that way. So I'm going to flip that over and lay it flat. No, that's not going to work. Let me get some double-sided tape on there. Right, and that will hold it, and then hopefully the glue will then do the rest of its job. Unfortunately, this glue isn't necessarily the quickest drying glue. So let's pop that on there and on there, and see if I can get that off. Is that going to come off? I think it's not going to come off because it's, yeah, that's not sticking, is it? Okay, right, in that case I'll use these to hold it while it dries. So I'll pop that back on there like that. These things happen, don't they? They come to try us. So I'm just going to pin that one there and this one here. It's the problem because I'm doing it in one take. If anyone can give me any hints and tips on what I can do to sort of extend the life and what have you of that, then please do tell me. Right, so that's holding that a bit better. So next thing I want to do is I want to glue that on there like that. And actually my book pages, I'm not actually showing very much of the cover, am I? Perhaps, let's take that off. If I push that down, that might cover the whole lot. Yes, I think it will. So what I'm now going to do then is put some glue on this page. Let me see if I can take this off. I'm going to try and do this without moving the book backing at all, the covers. So bring this up, and you know what, this time I'm going to be sensible and I'm going to use my double-sided tape. So let's put some on both sides. Put some on there, that will hold that side, and some on here, and that will hold all that side. See how springy it is, and that's good because that means that you will have a really good that these pages, once I've pushed them down, these pages will hold better. I did the first one I didn't have as many pages in the book, so it didn't seem to hold very well. This one has got 261 pages, probably slightly more than that because there's a few there that I've glued. So yeah, so that can work to your advantage. Right, no, this isn't, I wonder if it might actually be the double-sided tape because this is old. As you can see, I've very nearly finished this, so it could be that it's just getting to the point where it's not cooperating anymore. So let's see if we can get this end instead. Come on. Right, okay, nearly there. That's not coming off. Let's try that end again. Always happens when the camera's rolling. So if this won't work, then I'm just going to go ahead and glue. And I've got nails as well. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if this is going to work. Yeah, I think this double-sided tape has had its day. And unfortunately, without going in my cupboard and sorting everything out, the other one's out of reach. Right, I'm ignoring my double-sided tape and I'm just going to go in with the glue. So what you want to do is glue, but don't go all the way up to the end because you need that to have some movement in it, so that when you are going through your pages, it can move freely without putting too much pressure on the spine of the book. So plenty of glue because we want that to stick, and just do one at a time. So we want to glue this one down and then glue the other one when this one is started to dry. I'm going to try that again. Don't understand why that's just not joining in or helping me today. Let's use this. Sometimes if you dig through, that'll work. There we go. I knew I'd get it in the end, but just took a bit of digging. There we go. So I'm hoping that that will hold it in place while the glue is drying. Just going to put a little bit of glue on here. You know me. I do like me glue, me wet glue, even though it's not always the best. Plenty on there. Need to invest in some better glue. And then pop that in the middle and push it down so that your spine's right in the middle. Now this one is going right up to the edge of that the book, so make sure you are even on both sides before committing. Okay, and then push down. I'm going to clip as well. Where's the other one gone? I know it's here somewhere. I'm going to clip that side as well and get my bone folder on there. So that double-sided tape should hold that now. And I'm going to push underneath here. So hold those pages back and get that glue pushed into the book like that. Okay, getting there, getting there. Right, I am going to leave that to dry and I'm going to show you how I made the tabs, and I will do the second half in a second as well. So all I've done is I've got some 1-inch strips of card, and I've got my my envelope, punch board, and I've gone to 1 inch and I've punched. I've then gone to 3 inch and I've punched. So I've got that. Then I flip it over, gone to 1 inch again on the other side. So there's my cuts. Doesn't really matter, I suppose, if you do it on the other side. And there's, so I've now got that. So put that out the way, get my trimmer in. So this is where friskers are really useful. I don't use them very often now because I'm sick of replacing the blades, but what you're going to do is, with the friskers, you're looking for that wire, and you want that wire to just touch or just kiss the bottom of where you've just punched. And once you're happy, oops, not quite happy, go up to the first one. Don't cut this bit, take it up to, so I've just cut there. Don't cut this, go to the next one, put your blade in and then go up, oops, a bit further up, and then, oh, I'm going to get my scissors, and if you haven't got a thing, you can just cut it. So there, and then this is the one that you want to cut as well, like that. Friskers let me down again. Oh well. So, and then you've got that. So what you do then is, either with your blade or your trimmer, or like I am, your scissors, you're cutting those, and that is then your tabs, like that. This is waste. So these tabs then get glued on into your book like that. In fact, let me get my glue and I'll put these two in. I know I haven't done the other side yet, but let me just show you. So what I do is I come a handful up and then pop it in so that the top, so this bit where this, so here and here are level with your book, so you get a nice clean page in there, nice clean tab on your page like that. Right, hopefully that's dried a little bit there, so let's take those off, and then I'm going to open this up and do the same on this side, and I'm hoping that I haven't yet run out of time on my camera, hoping I'm still in time. That's not worked again, is it? Okay, let's get my blade again and see if we can do it this way. No,